Hey peeps, welcome in. It's me, Pigeon Wishes, your resident pigeon fae from the UK. And today, we are trying out a new game. We're trying out a game called Necrologium. So, I got it in the detective game sale, because I didn't really want to play Phoenix Wright today. I had a headache yesterday, so I had to cancel stream last minute. So I thought, why don't we try one of the games that I've had in my Steam library for a bit? And this game is a scary game. We're doing a scary game today. From what I've seen, it's a kind of like mortuary assistant, but not, because you're not working in a mortuary like that. You're doing something different. There's still demons involved, but it's not like, it's like mortuary assistant for the fact that you're doing autopsies on the bodies to figure out things about the bodies. And the fact that there's demons. But from what I can gather, the art style in the Steam page is quite different. So we're gonna give it a go. Give it a go. Play a scary game today. I never play scary games. You're gonna see Pigeon get scared shitless today. Hopefully not. Hopefully I don't actually get that scared. I'm not very good at being scared. But no, it's been a chill week. I feel bad that I had to cancel Ace Attorney yesterday, but headache, too bad, couldn't stream. Didn't get enough sleep, or like slept at a weird time. So headache, not good. Oh well, shrug. Hopefully everything is working out on my end, because I feel like I forgot something and I can't remember. It was fucking Mix It Up. I knew that there was something I was forgetting. I forgot Mix It Up. There is always something I am forgetting. Always. I don't think there's been a stream that I haven't fucking forgot Mix It Up. I honestly believe there hasn't been a stream where I haven't forgot Mix It Up. Alright, how is everything else? Good. Nice. Right, let me see. Bloop. Setting up some stuff before we get started. Alright, yeah, we're ready to go. Ready to get into scary game. Ooh, actually, I'm all over the shop today, if you couldn't tell, peeps. I'm all over the shop. I'm like going insane, apparently. This is apparently what I'm doing, is going insane. I wanted to do this. Yeah. Now I match with the game. Good. Let's get into it. Let's do some stuff. Let's see what this game is like. Certain clues might prove useful later in the investigation. Damn it, it's been years since that last bloody case. I promised myself to quit this life, to enjoy retirement. But now, as then, when they call, I return like a stupid wagging puppy. Suppose my old man was right. People like us can't rest. At least this time they gave me a generous return. They must be in real trouble. So let's have a close look here. This dossier arrived very early this morning. I should read it. Ooh, we can look at things. I should read the case file first to see what I'm dealing with. Let's see what we got here. Special Investigation File, confidential. Dear Dr. James Milton, thank you for accepting the assignment commissioned by our department. The incident occurred last night in the affluent neighbourhood of Sealaw Street, specifically at the Bolden Villa. No survivors were found within the property. I am providing you with various pieces of evidence and information we have uncovered. At the moment, our department is conducting preliminary investigations on site and ensuring its security, which will take several days. During this period, the remains will be sent to you, gradually. Tomorrow morning, we will deliver the first body for you to work on. We trust that you will, as always, solve this latest mystery. Attached is a photograph found inside the building, which depicts the Bolden family, the owners of the mansion. We hope it proves useful. Sincerely, Finn Ross? Is that a P or an F? I think that's an F. Is that Finn Ross? Hi, Murder. Welcome in, Han. We're playing a scary game today. We're playing a scary game. This is rare form for me. It's a detective game still. There's still detective-y stuff happening. But we're playing a scary detective game today. Okay, this is the family. Everyone that we're whose bodies we're going to be looking at today. We got your classic fucking Inspector Calls cast. We have daughter that you can't see. Wife covering face. Husband standing behind a bench for some reason. Son taking up way too much space. Man, stop manspreading. Your sister could have fit on that fucking bench. Your sister easily could have fit on that bench. Or your dad. That would have made way more sense. Okay. So all these people were murdered in the manor, I see. What could have possibly brought them together in that place? Oh, were they not family? That letter made it sound like they were family. So, maybe one of them is the Bolden then, and the rest are just, like, randos in the house? We'll have to see when we get the bodies. It's an ironic twist. Is it an ironic twist of fate? Unlikely. Might be mere coincidence. They also gave me this Deirdre-type camera to collect evidence. It's pretty worn out, but if it works, it'll be very useful indeed. I'd better inspect it first. Damn it. There's blood everywhere. They could have cleaned it at least. Wait, what do we have here? Seems there's an engraving on the bottom of the camera. What you say? The instrument is caked with dry blood and emits a foul odour. An engraving on its underside bears a handmade peculiar inscription. This artifact was crafted to capture a moment in the lives of the souls immortalised. The objects that sealed their fates carried the story of those who took their lives. So I did photography. I don't know if this, I brought this up a few times, but I did photography as one of my qualifications. And Deirdre-type cameras like this, I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but that's how I was told to say it. They're really interesting, actually. Because basically, how it works, if I'm thinking of the right kind of camera, it's been a long time. It's basically the same principle as a pinhole camera, where you put the film in here, and then you seal it back up. And then you basically remove whatever covering was hiding the film, and then once it's in the machine, or in the camera, you can change the aperture by twisting the lenses on the end here to see how zoomed in it is, or how much light you let in is based on how long you keep the film exposed, and that's how clear your, like, how bright the image is. It's really hard to work with these kind of cameras, but it's really satisfying actually. And then we've got Nordic runes on the back. Okay. This means that the owner must have been among the guests of the manor. Maybe some sort of esoteric fanatics, or similar. Poor fools. With that said, I must admit the mechanism seems pretty unique. Never seen one like it. I'm sure that some old and dear regent will be enough to make it work. Or reagent. Nothing that an old fox like me can't handle. So we're playing an old guy. Let's see which tragedy they want to present in the news today. Okay. I feel like these newspapers are going to be important. We should pay attention to them. The Bolden Mansion. This morning, the luxury neighbourhood of Sailor Street was shocked by a discovery of a man hanging from a tree in front of the Bolden Mansion's gates. The identity of the man is currently unknown, but rumours suggest that there are multiple dead bodies inside the building. The local police department states that the possibility of this case being a return of Jack the Ripper is unlikely, but every lead is under investigation by the detectives. Due to the gravity of the situation, the retired and famous detective James Milton was appointed to lead the investigations. His career ended after a failed attempt to arrest Jack the Ripper, but the chief of police is convinced that he's the right man for the job. And that's us. So we quit being a psychic police detective because we couldn't catch Jack the Ripper. That's good context. Irish migrant uproar. Thousands of Irish people are leaving their homeland to escape hunger and misery and find a better life in England. The food crisis is caused by a mysterious phenomenon that causes the potato crop to die, leaving the people without their primary source of food on the island. Massive starvation occurred, and the number of victims is estimated to be in between 500,000 and 1 million people. The English government refused to send help to Ireland, but now the larger cities like London, Manchester and Liverpool are full of slums created by the blameless immigrants. The overcrowding and terrible hygienic conditions in those slums led the local administration to try and find a dignified solution and resolve one of the worst humanitarian crises of our era. We know what my feelings on the fucking potato famine are. I've talked about it a lot on this channel, especially when we did Blake Manor. Another game set in Ireland in Victorian England. The potato famine's incredibly fucked up. Because it didn't need to happen at all. It was entirely preventable. And it is entirely the British government's fault. An entire career paved with success, and yet I'm only remembered for that damn maniac. This is the information about the first victim. Francis Bolden, the unfortunate son of the manor's owners. Better add this to the case file. Oh, so he's the guy who was hung outside the front. Okay, and he's manspreader. He's the manspreader in the one photo, and apparently also the guy that was crucified to a fucking tree. This is interesting so far. Francis Bolden, 27, 165 metres tall, 72 kilograms, and male. Son of the manor's owner, unemployed, he lived in the family mansion with his father. Corpse was found naked and dangling from a tree in front of the manor's gates. He had a knife stuck in his torso, probably the murder weapon. I wouldn't be so sure about the knife being the murder weapon there. Although, actually, the way they made it, I'm I joked about him being crucified to a tree, but like the picture did kind of make it look like he'd been stabbed in between the ribs. And that's a very like Jesus coded, to be crucified to a tree and then have a knife in between your ribs. That is very Jesus coded. I wouldn't be surprised if that's not intentional. We'll see. We'll see. We can't speculate yet. We haven't even seen the dead body. Oh yeah. By the way, chat, trigger warning. This is like Mortuary Assistant. If you were squicked out by the stuff in Mortuary Assistant, you will be squicked out by this game. We are going to be dissecting dead bodies, and it will be graphic. The Steam page says, has images that are straight up like the dead body, and you are dissecting it. So if you're squicked out by gore... Hi, June. It's quite late. I better make my way to the study. I was just warning everyone that this game is like Mortuary Assistant, except for not as randomized. So, like, there's a strong chance that there's going to be gore. If you're squicked out by gore, like, do what's good for you. Oh, lag. A little bit of lag. A little bit of lag. Come on. Oh, it's only on OBS. The game's not lagging at all. Right then, they've already laid young Bolden on the table. Let's see if everything's in place. Games can have a little bit of gore as a treat, this is true. Study owner gave me a few instruments. In the following days I will receive the rest. I've placed the daguerreotype camera on the tripod. The angulation seems perfect to record all the evidence I need. Here I can place the daguerreotypes that I take. Right, first protocol. As always, look at the body. Before we do anything, we should look at them. It's a nasty wound. I should inspect it closely. The knife. So it's not in his ribs. Because if it was in his ribs... So this guy was crucified to a tree outside of the mansion. They told us. So I was thinking maybe Jesus adjacent stuff, but this is in his shoulder, so that's not Jesus adjacent. This is just a coincidence. They left the murder weapon on the body. Rookie mistake. Oh, it broke. Bloody hell, the knife tip split. I'll have to extract it. So what have we got so far? Francis Bolden. Alright. His face, he's got something in his mouth. What's he got in his mouthies? Seems to be something stuck inside the mouth. I should take it. Oh, he wasn't even crucified to the tree. He was just tied to it. These marks are where he was tied with rope. I should look closer. Right, let me try and sort some of these settings to stop lag a bit. How was that? Any better? My model's still lagging a little bit. Let's just see if maybe it's because I've turned it to that instead of unlimited. I think that's a little bit better. Nothing on his legs? Legs are covered in blood and dirt. And he's got something in his hand. A fine ornate jewel case. His hand still clutches it tightly. It's locked. Wait, this is the Bolden family crest. It's heavily embossed. Anyway, I'll need some sort of key if I want to open it. Until I find the key, I should keep it in the dirty type corner. Certainly it will prove useful later. Okay, so first things first, let's remove this shard. Okay, tip of the knife I just removed. Better store it in the ampule with some saline solution to avoid losing it. Now I can finally take a dirty type of the body. I want to move the thing in the mouth first. That's odd. It seems to be a missing page of a book. Let's see what's written on it. Okay, so this was added to the dossier. I want to... Before we take a photo, we're using the magic camera that we got from the place where all the dead bodies are. I want to maybe have a look and check that the magic camera is not going to fuck anything up. The murder's linked. The book page. Book paper found inside the victim's mouth. In it there is a description of an ancient rune used to identify adulators, sycophants, and deceivers. So someone didn't like this guy. Someone didn't like this guy and they think he was full of bullshit. Knife's tip used to murder the young Francis Bolden. From the breakage it can be assumed that the blade is old or poorly made. Alright. I wanted to look more closely at these. Flesh was torn apart by the rope. Moreover, there's a lot of dirt underneath the nails. Try to fight back until the end. Let's look more closely at the chest wound. He lost plenty of blood. These cuts remind me of the symbol I saw on the piece of paper. Can't really look at his face and I can't really look at his thing. And I have no use for the syringe, apparently. Helgas. This is the rune that defines and condemns a sinner to the second pit of the 8th circle of hell, reserved for adulterers, sycophants, and deceivers. So which one was he? Because that's 3 very different things. An adulterer, you can be all of those things at once, but what was he? I'm gonna go for like a sycophant and a deceiver. He could be an adulterer, but like we have no way of knowing that right now. Nothing from the knife. Okay, let's take this photo then. Didn't know that these devices had such a mechanism. What are these symbols? Some of them are not new to me. Anyway, let's see how this works. Helgas. Brilliant. Let's develop it. I'll need a reagent. I'm sure there's one in the laboratory. Okay, and the lab is over here. This is the laboratory. I don't have the equipment necessary to produce new reagents that I need. Today's reagent will have to suffice. I shall have to produce more in the coming days. Meanwhile, I shall notify the PD of what tools and chemicals will be certainly useful for tomorrow. Wait a second. Damn it, James. I've put the knife's tip in a bottle similar to the reagents. Now which one is the right one? I'm sure it's this one. now I have to only to develop the daguerreotype. Okay. Shaky, shaky. Perfect. The daguerreotype developed. Oh, so the camera tells you who killed who. Ah, magic camera that's a snitch. Magic snitching camera. Okay. Well, she's married. She's missing an eye. I can't tell if the thing around her neck is decorative or whether she's had her throat cut. Or whether it's part of her dress. She's got a knife. Her wrist has... I don't know if you can see that behind me. But her wrist is like torn up like how his is. Short, blonde hair. My head, it's killing me. Ooh! You shouldn't have betrayed me. Ah, adultery then. It's got to be adultery. This doesn't make any sense. My mind is playing tricks on me. I'm exhausted. I should go back home. Okay. That's cool. It's cool that we have a magic snitching camera. You can't escape when there's a magic snitching camera. Try to be careful. Do not commit any crimes. Last night I lost sleep over what happened yesterday. The daguerreotype showed me far too peculiar clues about the case. Is it possible that the engraving on the camera was true? The reagent, altered with the knife's tip, the victim's blood. Maybe I'll be able to make that strange phenomenon happen again with the next victim. It might be so early in the morning. There wasn't anyone at the door, only these things. A book in a box full of oddities. To whom do you belong? Right, newspaper first. Let's see. Conflict erupts in South Africa. The outbreak of hostiles in South Africa marks a new chapter in Britain's imperial struggle. On October 11th, 1899, the Boers of the Transvaal and the Orange Free State, determined to protect the independence from the British control, declared war. The conflict has begun with surprise attacks on the British-controlled territories, particularly in Natal and the Cape Colony. The Boers, highly trained in modern rifle warfare and guerrilla tactics, quickly laid siege to key towns such as Ladysmith, Kimberley and Mafeking. The British Empire, under the leadership of the Prime Minister Lord Salisbury, has mobilised its forces in response. General Sir Redvers Buller has been sent to South Africa to lead reinforcements to relieve the besieged towns. Despite British superiority in numbers, the Boers have proven to be resourceful adversaries. Early battles, such as the Siege of Ladysmith, have revealed the difficulties Britain will face in subduing the Boer forces. While nation stands with its soldiers, there is growing concerns over the duration of the conflict. The war is expected to be long and challenging, with reports from the front suggesting the victory may not come as easily as many had anticipated. Britain's resolve to maintain its imperial dominance will now be tested in the rugged landscapes of South Africa. The right punishment for occupying someone else's land, I suppose. Oh, our character is based. Okay then. Our character is based. Alright. This box is so old, I wonder what these flasks are for. These old box containing strange flasks. Maybe they have some chemical properties. I do not know what to expect from this book. It should be wise to read the letter first. Let's see who delivered these items. This is a gift for you, detective, plucked straight from my personal collection. Within these pages you shall find the answers to all questions that have plagued your mind. While toying with my dear daguerreotype camera, along with curious insights into my world, may it aid you in unravelling this most unique case. Till yesterday I would have thought that this was only a macabre joke, but now I can't ignore this. Suppose I should give a look at this book now. The symbol on the cover is quite strange. The symbol on the cover is a protective spell. We're back on Pigeon Nose Witchcraft stuff day, peeps. This keeps coming up accidentally. I didn't know that this was part of the game. But we're back on Pigeon Nose Witchcraft things again. That symbol in the middle of the book that he's talking about is a protective symbol. Yeah. It's meant to, like, keep the bad stuff away, basically. You've also got the Celtic knots in the corner. And 2 moons. Meaning that this is also kind of the symbol for, like, it's like a weird, not quite the symbol for, it's not Hecate. I want to say, what's the moon one? It's been a while. The moon one. She's also in Hades. Selene. There you go, Selene. It's like a weird version of the symbol for Selene combined with the like most common protective sigil. Reagents. Guidance on producing the reagent. Place both ingredients in the albumic. Ignite the flame and allow the heat for a few minutes. Collect the produced reagent and let the daguerreotype soak in it. The fate of the victim will be shown if the reagent is produced correctly. Albumic. Object that sealed the victim's fate. Insert a fragment or component. Basic alchemical ingredient akin to the death of the victim. The different symbols, or runes, is the correct word, not symbols. Ingredients. Withered flower. Flower drained of its vitality. It symbolises the end of days and the unavoidable decay provoked by the march of time. Chicken of the woods. That's a real fungus. Chicken of the woods is a real fungus. It's a real edible fungus. You can, be careful though, because there are certain mushrooms that look very similar to chicken of the woods that are not edible at all. But chicken of the woods is a really good vegan replacement for chicken, ironically, because it has like a meaty flavour and has like a very like meaty texture too. Chicken of the woods is really good for like fake steaks, or like, well, they're not really fake steaks, but like breading and then doing as like chicken tendies. But also I've seen it done really well in like soups and stuff. I think this is me nerding out over fucking plants and shit again. This is gonna be another Blake Manor. This is gonna be another Blake Manor Strange Horticulture situation where I know way too much about these things and I'm gonna be nerding out about them the whole time. Parasitic fungus that feeds itself on the tree sap growing at the expanse. It thrives as long as its victim succumbs in its presence and then perishes. So, chicken in the woods doesn't really taste like chicken. It's still a mushroom. It's still quite earthy. But it tastes not like the kind of mushrooms. It doesn't taste like a portobello or a shiitake. It's got its like own flavour. People call it chicken in the woods because its texture mostly. It's got the same sort of like mouth feel when cooked as chicken. So that's why it's like a relatively decent substitute for chicken, because it's got the same mouth feel. And you pretty much just cover and like it tastes of like not very much. So you can cover the taste of it if you don't like the taste of it pretty easily, because mushrooms absorb fluid really well. When you're cooking with them. So if you cook it with a red wine, you can get it to taste more like meaty, or taste like yeah, you get my point. You get my point. It's an interesting foraging fact, but you should be really PSA for my peeps. Be very careful when foraging, because there's lots of things that look very similar to each other, where one is a delicious snack, and one of them is deadly, deadly poison. So please, please be careful when you do go out foraging. Because while it is very good for you, it's very good for you to actually go out and eat things from your natural local environment. Because it helps you, Junie, no! Yes, but no, you can't eat anything once. This is true. This is just factually correct. But at the same time, please do not eat a fucking Amonata thinking it's a fucking red cap. Like, don't eat a red cap. Don't eat an Amonata thinking it's a fucking button mushroom, please. Okay, Junie's decided that she wants to eat technology. Amormata is like one of the most poisonous mushrooms you can get. I don't even imagine it tastes very good though as well. Because it's like one of those mushrooms that leaves a stain on you when you pick it. It's got like its spores stain your clothes. Same with ink caps. People have died eating ink caps before and I'm kind of like, but they look not edible. Why would you think that you could eat that? That looks like the least edible mushroom known to man. It's literally bleeding black ichor. It's literally bleeding black ichor and people are like, a soup. I would not eat the ichor. I would not eat the ichor. I'm too smart for that. I wouldn't eat the ichor. If I was going to fall for any mushroom, it'd be the one that looks like a fucking button mushroom, but isn't. Because there is one that looks identical to a button mushroom. Button mushrooms are the brown ones that have the X on top. But don't quote me on that, because it's been a while since I've done any, like, kind of foraging at all. It's been a while since I've done any kind of foraging at all, so don't take my advice for anything other than, like, be very careful. Make sure that you 100% check with other people that the thing that you're trying to eat is actually what you think it is. And, like, don't eat anything that's, like, too brightly coloured. Because if it's too brightly coloured, more often than not, that means it's poisonous. Junior's decided that she just hates me and wants to eat mushrooms now. Okay. Dandelion. Flower uses the wind to reproduce. The air enables movement and life. Without it, everything is still and motionless. Lymph. Lymph extracted from a century-old oak. Fluid that donates life and energy, but a deep wound is enough to interrupt the flow. Rat entrails. Disgusting offal of a big rodent. Slimely, virulent creature bearer of a slow, dark, disfiguring death. Flint. Mining stone used to kindle fires and cause flashes of light. Sparks capable of repelling the darkness, but also cause it. Spiritual camera. This artifact was created to capture a moment in time of the depicted souls. To relive the moment you seek, immortalize the deceased by selecting the correct rune on the back of the machine. Before taking the picture, set the camera by selecting the rune that represents the sin committed by the victim. Once ready, press the button on the left. We know how to do that. Halagas. It distinguishes and condemns the damned to the second Bolgia of the 8th circle of hell, reserved for flatterers, pimps, and deceivers. Ophelia. Rune distinguishes and condemns the damned to the first zone of the 9th circle of hell, reserved for traitors to their kin. Perth. Reserved for murderers and marauders. Anzu. Reserved for hypocrites and whiskier. I don't know that last word. Wisecares? Don't know what that word means. That is a new word for me. Lig. This room for the adverse and the prodigal. Indwas. Bearer of both life and maladies. Rune signifies the cycle of life and its end. Rathul. Rune for thieves and usurpers. Manas. For suicides and squanderers. Inguth. reserved for blasphemers and sodomites. I'll bring everything to the study. I have to get to the bottom of this. Let's move on to the next victim, Serenity Crownbelt, maid of the Bolden Mansion. Oh, she's the lady that killed the other guy. Okay, we know that she murdered the guy up in the tree. The son. 22. So she's 5 years younger than him. 107 meters. Oh no, 1.7. 85 kilograms. The only interested maid of the Bolden family, and at their service for a long time. She was single and lived in the manor room assigned to her. The body was found lying in the manor's garden. It was a clear cut across the abdomen, signs of a possible fight. Interesting. Well, it's time to go. It's quite late. Better make my way to the study. Okay. So far, a detective knows the solution and smaller details. So far we know the maid killed the son. I think this is going to be a big loop where they all killed each other. Luckily the book isn't the only surprise today. This morning they sent me the necessary tools to produce the reagents. Some of the pages of that warm book displayed runes similar to those on the daguerreotype camera. I think they're more useful here. So that we can look and see exactly what we think the sin they did was. That first one was obviously a freebie. Even the scalpel has finally been delivered to me. I have to get my hand back on it, but I'm certain it will be useful. A girl with peculiar traits. I recognise her melancholic expression. It's like I've already seen it somewhere. And yet they brought the body here only this morning. I'll keep this in mind during the investigation. These subtle sensations could be crucial. And even the board here. And even the board is here. The most trusted friend for a detective. Now I can organise all the clues I've collected. And this is the mansion's map. I already placed the pictures of the two victims in the locations where they lost their lives. Very good. For now, I should focus on the young Bolden's case. Yesterday I connected it with clues that's worth considering. Well, let us see what we have here. They're the people I have been investigating until now. Miss Campbell's face seems familiar. Surely this stereotype will be useful to link the victim to the murderer. What caused young Bolden's death? And what unleashed the murderer's wrath? Well, it's time for me to get to work. Oh, she's the murderer. Motive. Death caused. He was blood loss. Punished for stealing, hired to kill, eye for an eye, unfaithfulness, desperation, robbery gone wrong, self-defense, seen too much. Unfaithfulness is what they said, right? Yes, certainly, this is how it went. Betrayal, revenge. Only a few of the futile motives that bring people to suspect shed the blood of others. Now I should focus on the murderer. Who did reserve you to the same destiny of the young Bolden? Seems like we are only at the beginning of the complicated story. What a fright! Damn thing. What? Okay, what's in the daguerreotype? What did it do? We should... Oh, okay. Ah, I'm rotating things too much. I don't want them rotated. Red-haired lady is his wife then. The one that's wearing the veil in that picture. She's got the ring. There's some other people in the background. They might be important later. I dare to tap a Frances Bolden, a young lady. They seem joyful, in love. I feel like I'm being watched. Who's there? Hello? Seducers and forgers, flatterers of lonely women, those who promise and give nothing. What are you? A victim, a murderer. You have to discover the truth, detective. That can't be true. I was talking to you about Bolden. How did the thing know him? Maybe it was involved in his death. And maybe not only that. Damn old man, you shouldn't have taken this case. The thing is made of serenity to kill the young Bolden? If so, how? The mirror? Stay focused, for God's sake. These little tricks will not fool me. I must simply continue the investigation. Upon the table lies a murderer. I only need to determine how she died. The rest does not matter. But it does. It does matter. We can say it doesn't, but it does. Nose is undoubtedly fractured. A gold cross pendant, meticulously crafted and inlaid with inlaid gems. What is this? What is its place in this puzzle? The abdomen has been opened, the uterus removed. What a nasty burn. Did she get that in the kitchens? First off, we want to look closely at all the stuff. The nose is broken in 2 sections at least. The strike was thrown at great force. The throat. A deep and precise cut on the jugular. Quick death. Wait, it seems that there's something coming out of her throat. Can't extract it barehanded, it's stuck. The abdomen was surely cut open with a sharp blade. Let's see what we have here. The uterus has been completely removed. I also see a foreign object. Looks like some sort of wooden tool. I need to extract it to know more about it. What a nasty burn. Scalpel the throat to get it out? No, no scalpel. Tweezers? They gave us a scalpel and didn't give us a reason to use it. So she had a fingy in her throat, meaning she probably bit off the finger of whoever killed her. A human finger? How did it end up in there? And more importantly, to whom does it belong? Fine now, I just need to extract it. A switchblade. It's a switchblade of excellent workmanship. The handle has golden engravings, completely handmade. Certainly an expensive item. So there's nothing to do with that. I can't cut anything open. Let's look at the table. Expensive item. Finger with clear teeth marks at the base. How did it end up in the woman's throat? She bit it off. She bit her fingy off. Go for her. Well, not go for her because she's dead. But, like, go for her biting the fingy off. Yeah, so that's the guy from that was killed. Hi, Sarah, welcome in, hun. This is his wife. He was cheating with the maid. nose. Nose broken in 2 sections at least. Show the strike was thrown with something one bigger and stronger. Deep and precise cut on the victim's throat. Exactly on the jugular. Surely it was intentional. Ooh, 1.5 years. Sub. Nice. Thanks, Sarul. She had a necklace. She'd bitten someone's finger off and it was still in her throat when she died. Fully healed burn on the victim's wrist. Considering the woman's profession, she may have got it in the kitchens. Deep cut, and the uterus was fully removed. The necklace, what does it open? Oh no, we don't know what sin she committed yet. We don't know what sin she... So, explanation for anyone who just came in. The whole point of this game is that we've got to do autopsies on these bodies, figure out who killed them, and what sin they committed. Because each body is the murderer of another body that's coming in. It's a big loop where they all killed each other. And we need to figure out why. It's no use. Okay, so it's not the key for that. So if it's not the key for that, what is it the key for? I can't really answer what this lady did until I know more about her. How am I today? I'm alright. Just a normal, not like particularly good, not particularly bad. Let's just check if there's anything I requested, everything I requested. These are the instruments that will help me obtain the components I need from the clues found on the victims. These ampules were given to me along with the book. Really, I understand more by reading it. I'll need this albamic to mix the different ingredients to obtain the reagent. Setting the ampules and starting the fire will be enough. Perfect. There's everything I need, and even something more. Okay, so how do we do this? To make the reagent, place both ingredients in the albamic. Ignite the flame and allow the heat for a few minutes. Collect the produced reagent and let the daguerreotypes soak in it. The fate will be shown if the reagent is produced correctly. Object that seal the victim's fate. Basic alchemical ingredient akin to the death of the victim. So... What feels most like her? We gotta find the object to that like feels the most like her life in order to make it, because we're gonna need the knife, like to shave some filings off the knife for the first thing, but for the second thing I'm not quite sure. Dandelion? Dandelion seems correct to me. Dandelion. And the metal powder. Hopefully this will be the correct thing to make the reagent. I think it's not going to be too hard, because it's the first one. We don't know what sin she committed, though. I think her uterus was removed because she was pregnant. Let's have a look at these symbols and what they represent. Flatterers, pimps and deceivers. It's not that. Traitors to their kin, not that. Murderers and marauders, not that. Hypocrites and wiseers. Adverse and prodigal, not that. It might be life and maladies? No, because that seems to me like for someone who, like, died of old age. Right? Thieves and usurpers, it's not that. Suicides and squanderers. Blasphemers and sodomites. It's not. So, I don't know what one she fits. Like... Now, what do you think? If anyone's got any ideas. What one of these seems to fit her... What sin she quote-unquote committed? I have no clue. Maybe we'll try Ingwas. Because what I think she did is that she was having a child out of wedlock. Like, she got pregnant by the guy. And that's why she murdered him, because he was she learned that he wasn't going to leave his wife. That would be my guess. Maybe? This is hard. This is really hard. I'm not entirely sure which of these fits her, because that doesn't really fit. Let me look at my board again. Okay, so we've already looked at Francis then. We got that right, from what I assume then, if it's not going to let me look at it again. Let's look at the body. Let's look at the body again, because there's got to be something I'm missing. There is! The hand is covered in blood. I'm missing some stuff. I need to look at the body closer. The hand is covered in blood. She must have worn a ring on her finger. What's this side? These are abrasions of a certain entity. She must have been grabbed with violence. Okay. The breast is swollen and stiff to the touch, and the glands are enlarged. Probably all signs of pregnancy. Well, I was aiming for the neck, but that's correct then. I was right at guessing she was pregnant. I thought that mostly because they removed her womb. So she was... This is an intentional murder, obviously. She had her belly cut open and someone removed her kid. Let's look at these again. Because is it as easy as... Received from murderers and marauders. Is that as easy as that she murdered him? So that's her sin. She murdered him. Because she was married, by the looks of it. If she had a wedding ring, it isn't that she had a baby out of wedlock. It's that she murdered him. That makes most sense to me. I think the pregnancy thing is a red herring. Well, no, not. It's going to be useful, but it's not quite what we're after yet. Right, let's see. It's not the right thing. We made the reagent wrong. Damn it, the reagent's not working. Could it be that I combined the wrong ingredients? Okay, so it's the metal powder. It's 100% the metal powder. Let's look at the book again. And read these closer. I thought maybe because she had her throat cut, it would be that, but maybe that's for if someone is suffocated. Lymph, a fluid that donates life and energy, but a deep wound is enough to interrupt flow. Let's try lymph. Let's try lymph and see if that works. Okay, let's see if this works now. I'm glad they don't make us retake the picture. The moment at which Serenity Campbell died. Let us see what secrets you are hiding this time. Big guy. Can't see his face. But he's holding a big kitchen knife. Anything about him that's particularly, noteworthy? He's wearing servant's clothes. So maybe it's Serenity's husband? Maybe that they were cheating. That bastard will never see the light. This bastard will never see the light of day. What a horrible death. 2 lives destroyed in an instant. Okay. Had enough for today. It's time to go home. That includes my prove useful later in the investigation. Tiredness is wearing out my old flesh. This can't be real. That daguerreotype showed me far too peculiar clues about the case. Yesterday I solved the first piece of the puzzle. That's not a lot, but at least it's something. But I still hear that voice echoing in my head. Never felt such coldness, such sorrow. That shadow, the red-haired girl. Who are they? What is their role in all of this? I'm too involved in this, I must continue. Fire of the next victim has arrived already. I wonder what madness it will bring with it. Let's see. New era for London's skyline. London witnessed the grand opening of the Tower Bridge, a monumental feat of engineering transformed the city's skyline. Designed by Sir Horace Jones and John Wolferberry, the bridge is built to ease traffic across the River Thames while maintaining access for the large ships navigating the river. Standing tall with its two majestic towers and iconic bastions, the Tower Bridge is one of the first of its kind in the world. The bridge's design is not only functional, but also an artistic achievement, blending Victorian Gothic architecture with the latest in engineering technology. The bastions, or lifting spans, can be raised to allow large vessels to pass underneath, a mechanism that fascinates both Londoners and visitors. The opening ceremony has been a grand affair, with the Lord and Mayor London, Sir John W. Jackson, officially inaugurating the bridge. Thousands of Londoners line the riverbanks to witness the historic moment as the first vehicles cross the newly opened bridge. Sensational work, the product of the finest minds of our nation. Petro Tomini, a friar from the nearby convent. Also a herbalist, I see. Not even the disciples of God were spared from this mess. 35, 180, 60, male. Friar from one of the oldest convents in town. He had a fervent passion for herbalism, which he devoted his days. Body was found sitting in the armchair with an abundant drawn at his mouth. There are several bandages on the arm and a copious amount of blood coming out of one of them. Okay. So we don't know who murdered that girl yet. Still, we don't know who that is. Time to go. Some clues may not be what they seem. So, what do we have here? The police found this Bible on the victim. It's closed with a lock, but it might contain something regarding the case. And if not, some passage from the Holy Scriptures might offer me some relief. Wait a moment. A small piece of paper is sticking out of the Bible. Maybe I could pull it out. Tattered piece of paper with names, dates and payments for illegal substances written on it. Marcelina Mary Higgins, £800. Laudanum, James Dawson, £600. Cocaine, John Baker, £470. In what fucking universe is laudum more expensive than fucking cocaine? All laudum is a sedative. All of these are illegal in Victorian England, but like, laudum is just a fucking sedative. They gave that to fucking insane patients to like calm them down. So that if they were having a fit. It's not great. We don't use it nowadays. We don't use laudum. But like, at the time, it's not really that bad. It's not as bad as cocaine. Cocaine's like way more, should be more expensive. Interesting. Fire Pedro must have had a parallel story. Quite peculiar considering his role inside the church. Wonder if these substances are involved in his death. Are we thinking overdose? The accounting sheet. Superficial wounds possibly caused by a fall. A worn, dirty, malodorous bandage. There's some dried blood on it. Would be interesting to see what's under it. Worn dirty bandage, dried blood on it. His mouth, he's got frothing at the mouth, which prevented him from breathing. Eyes are wide open and watery. He was aware of what was happening to him. Right, first off, removing the bandages. We need a good look at this patient. Interesting. So he's got tack marks on his arm. So he's been sampling his own product, basically. I would guess. Foam at the mouth. Moreover, the lips are cyanotic. Kind of prolonged asphyxiation. What are his pupils? Moreover, he has dark circles on his eyes. I don't think it's because of his lack of sleep. They do not appear to be recent. The healing process has already begun. These are plenty of small wounds on the arm. Some are very old, while others are recent. They're all near the arm's main vein. It's a syringe tip stuck in the arm. Won't come out. Ew, gross, 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 gross. This one's making me feel a bit squicky. This is making me feel a bit squicky, this bit. I have a thing about needles. Syringe tip. There's still residue of some fluid. Could take a sample in the laboratory. I don't want the syringe tip, I want to look at the blood. Ugh. Okay, let's go over here. I think this key goes to this, yeah, because it's a cross. And it's a Bible. It's open. Why on earth would he guard the word of God so jealously? Let's see. Same passage recorded throughout the entire Bible. You belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He is a murderer from the beginning and has not stood in the truth, because he is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks from his own nature, because he is a liar and the father of lies. Okay. So it's a satanic Bible, because that's not in the actual Bible. I'm pretty sure that that paragraph that's repeated in the entire thing is actually from the satanic Bible. Well, that means we know exactly what his sin is straight away. Because, Inez, isn't it? Where's Inez? Blasphemers and sodomites. It's the one that looks like this. Because he's a blasphemer. Brilliant. Let's develop it. Because making drugs isn't actually a sin. But blasphemy is. Do we think I could use the syringe on the mouth to get a sample of his mouth foam? Yeah, I thought maybe we could get a sample of the foam. Very viscous. The syringe struggled to absorb it. I think we should get a blood sample as well. I don't know what of these is going to be useful, but something might be useful. I extracted the victim's blood. I don't see anything unusual about it. Okay. Now we can go make the reagent. Saliva, blood. We want to swab this. And that's his substance. His substance, whatever drug he took. So this one, I think, is the dandelion because he did die of asphyxiation. We know he suffocated to death, suffocated on his own spit. So this is a hard question now. What is the cause, like what killed him? Is it the substance he took? Is it the spit that he choked on? It's one of those two, I would guess. I guess it's ultimately the drug that he took. That would be my guess, at least. Right. Time to do the photography thing. This is much harder in real life, by the way. This isn't getting across how hard this kind of photography actually is. You couldn't do it like this. You'd need a dark room. The exact moment of another destiny was sealed. Another secret yet to be revealed. Okay. Well, that's himself. So he took the drug willingly. But an old lady maybe gave him the wrong drug? Or switched the drug out? Do you think this is enough? I want back what's mine. Calm yourself, a dose like that would kill anyone, and foresaw his death long ago. I worked so hard to cook these wonders, let's see if it was worth it. Oh dear God, finally. What's happening? I can't breathe. A less gruesome death. It only took tampering with the dose, increasing the quantity. Whoever wanted him dead knew of his addiction and used it against him. A well-executed plot by two merciless individuals, but why? Okay. Had enough for today. I'll wait for the next victim at home. So we don't know who killed any of these people so far. I feel like we're going to need to look at everyone and then make a decision who killed who. The fact that that girly pop had the fact that she had the thing for his Bible around her neck is kind of very sus. The truth remains hazy in my mind. The red-haired girl is the only lead I have. I must find her. Each case file, each victim is a step forward towards the end. With this case, I shall reclaim the life and the respect I rightfully deserve. We're being corrupted. Instead of caring about solving it so that they get justice, we've left it to... We're starting to be like, thinking only about what we want as a character. Let's see. A celebration of 6 decades of rule. The British Empire celebrated the Diamond Jubilee of Queen Victoria, marking 60 years of her reign. Queen Victoria, who ascended to the throne in 1837, had witnessed monumental changes during her reign, from the height of the Industrial Revolution to the expansion of the British Empire to its largest territorial extent. Jubilee has been a momentous occasion for the British people, a time to reflect on the achievements of their monarch and the prosperity of the Empire. The celebrations have taken place throughout Britain and the colonies, with grand parades, services and public displays of loyalty in London. At the heart of the festivities, streets were lined with crowds of military bands played. Royal processions passed by. A special service was held at St. Paul's Cathedral. The Queen made a rare public appearance, waving for the crowds from a carriage. For many, the Jubilee symbolised the stability and strength of the British rule, with Queen Victoria representing a sense of continuity amidst global change. The event was also an opportunity for the monarch to reflect on her personal legacy. As she has seen the empire grow in both power and influence, the Diamond Jubilee remains one of the most significant celebrations of British history, representing a powerful moment of national pride. And nobody would beat her rule until good old Queen Liz. She's the only other monarch that's lived even remotely as long as Victoria. Still remember when she was ascended to the throne. So many things have changed since then. Lucas Magrot, important priest. He often visited the local convents. Could he have been with the friar that night? Oh, so this guy probably killed the other guy then. One of the longest-serving priests in the city, he was well known among the people for his unwavering devotion to the faith. He frequently visited convents throughout the city. The corpse was found lying on the ground, arms and legs outstretched, and body covered in pustules and sores. What could cause such a horrific death? Surely I'll understand more as I continue the investigation. Time to go. Okay. So how do we want to start this? We've got nothing, like we've done our thing, so we can just, I think, go straight to autopsying him. Stop magnifying. Strange, the victim's hair is a different colour than the eyebrows. It's a wig, and an exquisite craftsmanship. Must have cost a fair sum. How could a priest afford such an expense? Something was concealed beneath it. What are you hiding, Father Lucas? Curious, a small silver object is stuck to the bottom. These holes are not placed at random. Could they conceal a message? A silver decipher. These pustules are unnaturally large and very pronounced. They seem to have grown quickly, judging by the condition of the skin. The liquid inside is very viscous. No, I want to keep looking at it. Okay, we learned nothing new there. An incision made with a blunt object and by an inexperienced hand. Skin's been closed without stitches, almost as if it fused together. There's also a strange swelling. Could it be a foreign object? Both sets of hands have clearly feminine silhouette. Skin is completely charred where it was touched. But curiously, around the wound it's entirely intact. They have used some kind of branding iron. Wait, a small piece of charred flesh hangs from the side. Perhaps I could take a sample. The prosthesis is very old and inhabited by insects and worms. Through the cracks I can glance a piece of paper. We're getting nothing there. Everything's just pustules. Okay, let's sample of flesh. Okay, no, apparently we need the syringe for that, so we'll take this instead. A ledger slip of some sort, very similar to the one found on Brother Pedro. What if they were connected? Okay, so were they were both dodgy priests. Cutty cutty. The hand to get whatever's inside it. There you go. That was a little hard. The controls for these sections where I'm messing with the tools aren't like the greatest, but it's interesting. I'm finding this fun so far. Alright. We've had a look at the incision. What's inside the incision? What the fuck is he put inside his incision? A singular discovery, that's for certain. Could it be part of some kind of ritual? Rat stone added to the dossier. Let's take a sample of the purse. Interesting. The liquids are naturally yellow and very viscous. We want the sample of flesh. Extremely charred and tough. Let's see. I can't see anything else we get there. Let's have a look at some of this stuff that we got. I don't think we can do anything with that. It'll be in the binder, won't it? Lucas Margot. Plus extremely foul-smelling and viscous. Foul-smelling and laterally large pustules. Skin's oddly deformed if the pustules are formed instantly. Skin has been branded by something extremely hot. 2 imprinted silhouettes shaped like distinctly feminine hands. Small sample of burnt and extremely tough skin. Old prosthesis now infested with insects and worms. The accounting sheet. Small perforated metal sheet. The holes don't seem randomly made and of hand-carved shapes. Considering the fact that it is well hidden in the type of material, it would seem very important. Incision. Someone who didn't know what they were doing. A ledger slip very similar to the one found on Friar Pedro. Contents can appear to reference extremely high earnings, seemingly linked to illicit substances. House blessing, Mary Higgins, private mass. James Dawson, baptism, John Baker. It keeps clicking me out of the thing. I want to talk about the rat stone. A small stone carved to resemble a rat's head. So, do we think the other priest, because the money there's a money discrepancy here. Key elements. Let's look at this sheet of paper. Yeah, so I think those are the same people. The names are the same as the other guy's names on his list of people he was selling drugs to, but the money amounts aren't the same. This guy's got way less money than the other guy. So did he kill the other guy because the other guy was getting all the money from their combined drug sales? So, he didn't do his own wares, at least we know, unlike Pedro. He's not... I'm going to assume that he is actually a Christian priest. He's just a hypocrite, which we know is a sin. Where's hypocrite? Anisus. Brilliant. Let's develop it. I'm pretty sure that's his rune, because he's a hypocrite. His death, I feel like, is harder because it's more occult in nature. I'm gonna assume that it's been caused by the rat head. I'm just gonna assume that it was caused by the rat head. Because rats do disease. So, we've got one of these. Oh, we should do rat intestines, rat entrails, and this rock powder. Because that makes the most sense. He died of a disease, aka the rat intestines, and the thing that killed him is likely a cult, like a ritual done by the rat head for whatever fucking reason. I can't say I understand the motive here for this guy. Unless their drugs killed someone, and they didn't know which one of the two priests the drugs killed, so they killed both of them. I think he might have had something to do with the other priest's death, though. Let's see what led you to such a dreadful death. Oh, there's the mirror lady, and the redhead lady, and our book, and our camera. Far too long your affairs have brought death and despair to the weakest. I will rid myself of everything. I shall fulfill my role as servant of God, I promise. May this curse cleanse the world of your presence. The girl and that being are likely connected. The book and the camera and the ingredients were all in that room. Could they have been part of the ritual as well? Did they cast a curse on him? You helping me, or am I merely a pawn to you? But enough for today. I'll wait for the next victim at home. Final pieces of the intricate puzzle at least settling into place. That thing in the gala key, I feel it. Who's there? Mirror. What are you doing, crazy demon lady? They turned us into murderers. Their actions have led them to their fate. Did you kill them? Keep investigating, detective. Free me from guilt. Ah, so is it going to be that we're trying to justify the ginger lady's, like, the ginger lady did kill a few of these people, but it's justified? Is that going to be the thing? What happened? Maybe I must have fallen asleep here. Let's see if the case file the new victim. How is that possible? Manly Bolden. Manly Bolden, father of Francis, a veteran and owner of the Bolden Mansion. Don't need any further analysis to understand what this is. I would recognise that engraving a man 1,000. The Bolden family crest. I wouldn't have expected anyone else to wear it but the family patriarch. Right, straight away we can do this anyway. Part of the miracle. Demon is the one to kill him. Murder motive. This is hard, actually. Or death cause was cursed. The motive, though. What is the motive behind the demon lady to do it? And I'm saying the demon lady did it and not the ginger lady, because it's a curse. And she is, in fact, the ginger lady is, in fact, human. So meaning the person who actually killed him is the demon lady, who gave the curse. Sacrifice. That makes the most sense, because the ginger lady had a reason to do it, but the demon doesn't have a reason to do it. She just wanted to sacrifice because she's a demon. Yes, it all adds up. Yes, that's what happened here. Red-haired girl and that thing cursed him. Terrible death, but not as terrible as the actions that brought him here. Yeah, we can figure that out. Okay, I guess. Let's have a look at what his file says for Manly Bolden. Progenitor of the power family. After being honourably discharged, the man dedicated his existence to strengthening his lineage. The body was found smashed out in front of the villa's entrance door. The victim fell from the balcony above the entrance, resulting in fractures and injuries due to the impact. So we pushed out a window. Also, wouldn't be surprised if this was the guy that killed the maid. We'll have a look and grab his ring first. Things first. Ring of the Bolden family, adorned with their crest. Scale symbolises equality that reigns within the ancient family. The shield on its other hand represents the vow to protection and to the house of each member that dedicates life to. Significant fracture displaced in 2 places. The impact was with the ground must have been devastating. It's one of the worst fractures I've ever seen. Impact forced the bone out, leaving it exposed. He's missing a fingy. Common bandage recently applied to the blood upon is still fresh. It's covered in strange fine black gunpowder and gives off a strong stench of burnt gunpowder. So he's the one that killed that the girl, 100%. Severe dislocation of the jaw, most certainly a consequence of the fall. Skull gave way due to the force of the impact. Part of the brain matter is missing as if something had entered at great speed. Yes, the foreign object is still inside, there's no doubt about it. Mmm, tasty brain. He was shot. A lead bullet. Interesting. It's frightening how something so small can cause such devastating harm. A flash in an instant darkness. What do we have here? The finger was cleanly severed. Marks appear to be consistent with human teeth. Molars, to be precise. Okay. We can pretty firmly... I think we can pretty firmly say that he killed the maid. Guy who killed her? Manly Bolden. He stabbed her. Death caused... I guess that would be blood loss. Again. The motive... Eye for an eye? Because she killed his son? Yes, it all adds up. Manley devoted his life to protecting his family, and Miss Campbell not only murdered his son, she carried in her womb a bastard, born of a secret affair. A son for a son, 4 lives shattered for the lust of a single boy. Okay. We could probably do Pedro as well, actually. We can say that the father, Margot, did it. And we can say that, like... involved in dirty affairs? Ex asphyxia. So it's not involved in dirty affairs. Punished for stealing? Oh, so he was stealing the money from the other priest. Like forging the documents. Okay, that makes sense. Exactly, it all makes sense. Father Lucas increased Friar Pedro's doses, causing an overdose. Whoever was in that room with Lucas wanted to make it look like an accident. All for a handful of money earned from the other disgraces. The type camera activated itself again. Okay, interesting. The plot, it thickens. The priest giving money to the ginger girl and she's on the street. This stereotype is different. The red-headed lady seems in bad shape, desperate. It's here. Misers and spendthrifts alike, mock exploiters of the weak. Those who take all and leave nothing. You're talking about them. Friar Pedro sold drugs to the red-headed girl. But why are you showing me all this? What is your purpose? To protect her. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good motive to kill him. If he was giving the person that you're protecting drugs, and she's a recovering drug addict, that makes sense why they would kill him. Gone. Could it be this thing that provided me with the camera, the mirror, and the alchemical ingredients? If so, how could my help work out the girl? By bringing to light everything that they've done. It's an Inspector Calls situation, and she's the girl from it, the murdered girl from Inspector Calls. Murdered is in quotation marks there. I'm not going to spoil the book. This isn't... I made the joke earlier about Inspector Calls, but this isn't Inspector Calls, basically. I think that this is a red herring case as well, because I think it wants us to put murderers, but I actually think the actual thing is... Thela, traitors to their kin, because the baby that he killed was his grandson. Everyone he knows is... Everyone in the mansion was dead. We know that everyone in the mansion was found dead, meaning his wife is probably dead as well. So he's just killed off his only family. Actually, no. Suicide. He shot himself. Because it said the bandages had gunpowder on them. The ones that we cut off for his finger. Yeah, he killed himself. Okay. Manas is the suicide one, isn't it? Yeah. Brilliant. Let's develop it. Yeah, I think that's what happened actually, is that he shot himself. Okay, now time to make the formula. Well, we only have one thing that could have possibly killed him, so... We get the metal filings from the bullet, because that's what hit the murder weapon. Or the thing that killed him. And that goes in there. Let's have a look at the things. Flint is my guess. Sparks capable of repelling the darkness but also cause it. Yeah, because he would have had to... Old-timey guns had to be lit yourself. So my guess is that it's flint. Because the old-timey guns you had to light with a lighter, which had flint. Okay. Actually, before we do that, let me go over here and solve something else I think can be solved right now. Because I think we can now solve this thing with the ring. I did it! A simple yet ingenious mechanism. Even the interior seems to be a fine craftsmanship. There's a small cloth hand embroidered with an image of an imperial crown. Now, what is that about? I have no clue what that is about, but I'm assuming it's important, and we'll figure it out. Right, chemical. We don't kind of chemical. We do daguerreotype. We clicky. Time for shake shake. The exact moment another destiny was sealed. Another secret yet to be revealed. We know what he did. We know what he did. It's not that hard. I dedicated my entire life to this family. I lied, I deceived countless times to secure us a glamorous future. My son is dead. I killed the woman who killed him and her child. A man broken by his own actions, unable to live with the consequences. Before taking his own life, the man must have buried Miss Campbell's unborn child, a gesture of mercy in the depths of despair. Let's do the board first before we go home, because we can solve this one easy. Who killed him? Himself. Motive. Had seen too much? Desperation? So that's it. Yes, it all adds up. A suicide driven by vengeance and the unbearable weight of remorse left behind. Okay. So whomst will we have in our thing tomorrow? Who will be our new victim on the slab? The mere thought of having to return to that place robs me of sleep. My spirit is burdened by all the cruelty I've seen, though by now I ought to be used to it. Enough. I must focus. This is the case file of the latest victim. Soon I shall have my life back. Claire Wolfe, a beggar. An elderly beggar well known in the city. Many residents from the outskirts would turn to her for reminiscences about the future. Body was found with its head submerged in a large sink in the Via. The body displayed no other visible marks or injuries. 80 years old. By far the oldest victim, she came to possess the power of foresight. At this point I cannot rule out the possibility that it may be true. Wonder if she saw the end that awaited her, and whether she did anything to try to escape from it. Nah, it's time to go. I'm firmly of the belief that if that shit is real, and if someone could predict the future, that, like, they would be fully aware that you can't actually do anything to stop it, and anything you did try to do to stop it could just make it worse for you. Like, I go by, like, what's that film series? Why can't I remember the name? I've got the wrong name stuck in my head. I've got Fatal Attraction stuck in my head, but that's not the name. The one where they die at the beginning of the movie. Like, it's groups of people, and all of the game movies are groups of people, and then Final Destination. I couldn't remember the name for Final Destination then. That makes me a bad horror movie fan. I was thinking of Final Destination, but that's how I think if a psychic could predict their own death, I think that's how that would go. Is Final Destination rules. You predict your own death, but anything you try to do to stop it just causes it to happen. Like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because I think if a psychic was actually psychic, they would end up just whatever they saw would end up happening. For them to actually be considered a psychic. Otherwise, they're just someone with a vivid imagination. That's my hot take. That's my hot take on psychics. The hot take on psychics that everyone was asking for. Yeah, that's my thing. I agree with you, Car. Seeing the future is part of the future that you are seeing. So you've already seen the future in the future that you are seeing. Meaning, no matter what you do, because you have seen it happen, it is going to happen. I think regular people might be able to change events that happen to them. But if you were a psychic and you could see the future, by the fact that you can see the future prevents you from being able to change the future. Because what you're seeing is already what happens because you saw it. That's my hot take. That's my hot take on psychics, is that I think if you were an actual psychic that could see the future, you cause your own fate. If you see your own death, you can't escape it if you're a psychic, or if you go to a psychic, because, like, you have caused it to happen by seeing the future. Normal people avoid death every day. But I think by seeing when you're going to die or how you're going to die, you cause it. Kind of thing. Do you get what I mean? Self-fulfilling prophecy is just the easiest way to put that. Self-fulfilling prophecy is just the easiest way to put that. But that's my hot take on psychic. Pigeon hot take for today. This is the pigeon hot take of today. I think it's pessimistic. It's incredibly pessimistic. But I think that that's, like, the downside to being a psychic. Because otherwise, what is the downside to being a psychic? There wouldn't be a downside otherwise. And I think in most media, there has to be, like, a downside to it. And my hot take is that the downside is that you cause the things that you see. To a certain extent. To yourself, at least. Maybe not what other people see. But stuff that you see about yourself. Yeah. This area is clearly psionic and soft to the touch. Lung must have collapsed, allowing fluid to spill into the abdomen. If I'm right, I should be able to extract fluid easily. No, we don't want to look at that. Hands? Oh, what's she got? She got hair. The fingers are clearly psionic. How strange. There's white thin hairs caught in the hand. They clearly belong to Claire. How odd. They're completely dry. As is her hand. The hair is still completely drenched. Head must have stayed under the water for quite a while. Nothing on her peats. Nothing on this hand. Nothing on her tummy. Face? The lips are cyanotic, a sign of prolonged asphyxiation. Prolonged exposure to water has caused significant wrinkling of the skin. Face has remained submerged for an extended period of time. She drowned. All this is just pointing to she drowned. So she's the other person that killed Pedro, right? Because they said that the other person that killed Pedro had to have been a psychic, or could see what was going to happen. So the hair was cut before she was drowned. Interesting. This eye is artificial. I thought it looked different. Hi, Mort. Welcome in, Han. It seems antique and of excellent craftsmanship. You can see some sort of slit right at the centre. Wonder what it could be. So we're going to remove this lady's fake eye. We're going to remove this lady's fake eye. That's actually not what fake eyes look like. And that's what pisses me off about these games. Is that's never how a fake eye has looked. A fake eye is actually more like a dome shape. Not quite a dome shape. It's like a fried egg shape. They're not like a ball. You don't just shove a ball in your eye. There's still stuff behind the eyeball that was removed. Our eyes aren't a perfect sphere anyway, and our eyes are jelly. So, like, when you have an eye removed, the prosthetic they give you isn't like a ball. You can't just put a marble there and hope for the best. Prosthetic eyes are actually more like a fucking fried egg shape. I only know that because I follow a lady on TikTok who, like, shows off different prosthetic eyes, and she's very cool. It is a weird fact, but I think it's important to know for context for these sorts of things, is that fake eyes have never looked like a fucking ball. If you just shoved a ball in, you into the socket, you would like cause so much damage to your brain. Because the brain is behind there. The brain is behind there. That's how they did lobotomies, is by shoving an ice pick into the eye hole. Behind the eye. Like, that's how they did lobotomies. And you would run the chance of accidentally lobotomizing yourself over a long period of time by causing friction. If it was a ball, that's why they're like a dome. They've never been a ball. Never been a straight up ball. Same with peg legs. Peg legs have never actually, like, as far as we can tell, peg legs weren't a real, like, actual thing. They're just, like, an interesting thing. Yeah, they go, for a lobotomy, they went in through, if you've ever played Baldur's Gate, what fucking Volo does to the main character when he tries to get the brain-eating parasite from behind your eye. What he does there, where he gets the... This is gonna sound gross and freak people out. Trigger warning, gross and gonna freak people out. They get what is essentially a thinner ice pick, and they shove it in behind the tear duct, in next to your nose. I'm making hand gestures with this. I don't know why I'm making hand gestures. None of you can see it. They get the ice pick, and it's like a slightly curved ice pick, and it goes behind. They shove it into your inner tear duct, and then they sort of slide it behind your eye, and then they use a tiny hammer. And that's how lobotomy done. They didn't actually cut open your skull most of the time to do a lobotomy. Lobotomy mostly done via eyeball. Because the brain is sensitive. I mean, if you cut the wrong thing, then you can just fuck someone up forever. Not that Victorians particularly cared about that. But, like, what's a thing? I find that medical history really interesting. As suspected, the abdomen's filled with a mixture of water and blood. The victim inhaled a significant amount of it, causing one of her lungs to collapse. Gross facts. Gross facts with a pigeon. Nose was more for mummification, because you couldn't get to the right part of the brain for that. Right, what do we think this lady did? What sin is this lady representative of? Do we think Perth? Murderers because she helped kill Pedro. So do we think that she also gets the you murdered someone treatment? We'll go for Perth. We'll go for you helped murder someone. Brilliant. Let's develop it. Notice how they did mummification though. They had like a little hook, like a crochet hook, and they would scoop your brain out through your nose, and that's how they mummified you. In ancient Egypt and Sumerian. Babylonian and stuff tended to leave, if they mummified you, which was not as common, if they mummified you, they tended to leave your organs inside. Some cultures also pickled you. It really depends. There's lots of different types of mummies. My favourite type of... Chat, what's your favourite type of mummy? My favourite type of mummy is a bog mummy. Those fuckers are cool because they're like fully preserved. Those fuckers are cool because their bodies were like fully preserved because they fell in a bog. And then the bog is just full of chemicals that essentially, like, didn't take a very long time to fully, like, turn them into a mummy. Like a jerky person. A person if they were jerky. That's my favourite kind of mummy. Chinchorro mummies. Nice, nice. I also quite like ice mummies. They're kind of cool. But you don't really see people ice mummies. Ice mummies, you see more animals. Woolly mammoths, saber-toothed tigers, I think, are some of the most well-known ice mummy. I think there's also been a woolly rhino, but don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. Never quote me. Never quote me. Chat, there's one thing you should know. You should never quote me. I seem smart, but sometimes I'm an idiot and say things wrong. So I don't think... there's anything else we can do here. The lung water is the obvious thing. Here. What is the object for this one? Dandelion again, maybe? Because she asphyxiated. Do we think that sounds correct, chat? Out of all of these, I think dandelion sounds the best. Never quote me, or I will come get you. If I find out any of you are quoting me, I'll come to your houses and I'll get you. Don't let me spread misinformation accidentally. If I'm spreading misinformation, I want it to be intentional. If I'm spreading misinformation, I want it to be intentional. So no one should ever quote me on anything, so I'm not accidentally spreading misinformation. I was right, it worked. Now let's see. Oh, the demon killed her. Okay. Oh, the demon got her to kill herself? So I am the last one left. I had seen this moment coming. I sought to claim your power. Now I die by its hand. Fulfill my fate, demon. No one shall ever tear me from those I protect. I alone decide who I serve. So the demon killed her because she tried to take control of the demon, and the demon was like, fuck that, you're not strong enough to do that, mate. I choose who I serve, and I serve Redhead Lady, so fuck you. Drown. Demon. In this tale, there are many demons, and most of them are lain upon that operating table. Claire said that she tried to seize the demon's power, but what power was she speaking of? Right, let's solve her thing. Claire Wolf, you were killed by demon. You were drowned by demon for being stupid. Seen too much, maybe? That seems right. Yeah, because she saw who... that everyone else had been killed. Yes, that's how it happened. The demon drowned the woman with her own hand. Claire hungered for its power. The very same power that allowed the redhead girl to carry out her punishment. Steady now, James. One last photograph. Nah, her power wasn't demonic. Her power was, like, something else. Oh, did the old lady put the demon inside the redhead girl to begin with? Redhead girl is bound. She appears to be in terrible pain. It seems Miss Wolf had discovered how to separate the girl from the demon. By doing so, perhaps she hoped to acquire its powers, though I still do not understand what those powers truly are. You're here. See, so far the demon doesn't actually seem like that bad. She just seems to want to protect this homeless girl. What did you see, detective? Claire tried to separate you from the girl. She wanted to take your powers and make them hers. But you showed her that you are the master of your fate, that it is you who chooses who you serve. I serve no one. I save, I condemn, I grant the power of choice to those who it was stolen. No one will ever suffer the same injustice I did again. Oh, so is she not a demon at all? How can one call a demon a being with such purpose? I did think this at the very beginning. I was like, is she a demon? Or is she a guardian angel? I was like, is she a demon or is she a guardian angel? Now you have the full picture, detective. But as I told you, you're not done yet. There's one last executioner left for you. All the victims have been delivered to me. The case is solved. Let me go, demon. Demon? I was with the first man, made from the same clay, not one of his limbs. Ah, she's Lilith. Ah, I should have seen that coming, actually, when she was talking about how she kills, like, how she protects people who can't protect themselves and stuff. I should have seen that coming. I feel like that's... Actually, so she is a demon. Ish. Not really? What would you call Lilith? She's not really a demon. And she's not really, like... She's kind of nothing bugger. Oh, no, she's very, very powerful in the mythology. But, like... No, she is Lilith. She's saying here, I was with the first man, made from the same clay, not from one of his limbs. And that is Lilith. Lilith was made from... In Bible, Lilith was made at the same time as Adam. Yeah, Lilith is Lilith, like. Lilith is Lilith. Lilith is Lilith. There is no way to describe what Lilith technically is. She's not really a fallen angel because she wasn't even an angel to begin with. She was one of the first humans. She just decided she didn't want to get with Adam. So God cast her away and made Eve from Adam's rib so that she would be subservient to him. In the Bible. I was the first to defy and the first to suffer the price. First divorced woman ever, real. I fled Eden to protect my uniqueness and independence, cast into the realm of shadows for daring to do so. You were the first woman ever created. You are Lilith, Adam's first wife. I can feel the weariness in your soul. The cruelties I endured, the rage I felt. You have felt them. You feel them now. Free us from this limbo. Finish what I began. You're not the only one trapped in this damn nightmare. Alright, James. Steady now. Just one last body to examine, and then you're finally free. Finally, they're all here. These objects are all connected, invisible threads meticulously placed by her. If I want to finish this investigation, I need to uncover the secret they're hiding. Everything has been removed. I wanted to look at the eye. Finally, this is the right position. When combined with the deciphering tool, this mysterious sheet reveals an image of an ornate chalice. Don't understand why someone would go to such lengths to hide a simple image. Couldn't take anything for granted. Broken chalice. Maybe Jesus related? I did say that this felt Bible-y. The first, I fucking semi-predicted this shit. Chat, and the very first guy who was killed, the first guy that came onto the table, the son who was an adulterer and got the maid pregnant, I said that he'd been sort of like crucified like Jesus. And I fucking called this shit. I called that there would be Bible-related stuff. I'm so fucking smart sometimes. Sometimes I'm so smart. All my instruments are gone. These tarot cards are numbered. What am I supposed to do with them? Clear marks from straps. Could they be the ones left by Claire's ritual? There are wounds around the ankles as if they've been bound. Could they be the marks by the seer's ritual? Red gleaming hair, exactly like the girls in the daguerreotypes. Final executioner, the only one who truly had a motive, a reason to seek vengeance. A finely crafted ceramic mask. The expression is neutral and unreadable. Same as Lilith's. This mechanism looks like one from the daguerreotype camera. Could the Roman numerals be linked to the numbering of the tarot cards? So what am I doing here? So there's 21 Roman numerals and 21 tarot cards. My int modifier is, question mark. My whiz modifier is probably higher. Okay, let's start by reading the tarot cards. Magician 1. Hasty and careless, the magician throws himself into matters far beyond his grasp without fully understanding the consequences. High Priestess 2. Rigid and moralistic, the High Priestess deems every human pleasure a heresy. She is locked away in her inner world, wasting her life on the material plane. The Empress 3. Trapped by her own power, the Empress is unable to express her creativity and bring insights into reality. Emperor 9? No, 4. A tyrant and dominator, the Emperor uses his influence to control the weak, approaching life as an unbalanced game of chess. The Hierophant 5. False and self-serving, the Hierophant misuses his solemn image, deceiving others for his own personal gain. The Lovers 6. Indecisive and fickle, the lovers are afraid to listen to what their hearts tell them. They act in the shadows, driven by fear of others' judgment. The Chariot 7. Swift yet in need of a push, the chariot is stalled by an obstacle that seems unsurmountable and remains so as long as it stands alone. Strength 8. Essential to all but possessed by few, strength rewards only those who have persevered to earn it, leaving the rest to wallow in self-pity. Hermit 9. Alone and lost, the hermit did not choose solitude. He has become its victim, haunted by memories of the past. The silence surrounding him envelops him and will do so for eternity. The Wheel 10. Doomed to spin endlessly upon itself, the wheel is trapped in a futile cycle, held fast by its own mistakes and its very nature. Justice 11. Fickle and absolutionist. Justice favours the one who pleases her most, harshly punishing the weak for their faults, while absolving the strong of theirs. Hanged Man 12. The victim of life's inertia, the hanged man is unable to see a way out of his suffering, losing control over every situation he finds himself in. Death 13. An end, but also a beginning. Death marks the conclusion of a journey for every living being, yet offers an opportunity for the one who comes after. Temperance, 14. Excessive and obsessive temperance seeks to control everything and everyone around her, leading to a natural consequence, to a painful failure. The Devil, 15. Exploitative and opportunistic, the devil has fallen prey to his own primal instincts, ready to destroy and use anything in his path to obtain the object of his desire. The Tower, 16. Closed off and impenetrable, the tower allows not even light to enter its walls. The outside world is a source of fear, leaving it trapped within its own thoughts. The Stars, 17. That's only for those who have faith in them. The stars can guide a person through the world, if they know how to read them. To those who ignore their existence, they offer no help at all. The Moon, 18. Wary and cunning, the moon is ever watchful, seeking out the intrigues that lurk in the dark. This leaves her in a state of constant agony, plagued by nightmares in her sleep. The Sun, 19. Radiant and self-assured, the sun believes itself to be the only beacon in the darkness of the universe, pretending not to see that in truth it's just one of many, not even the greatest. Judgment, 20. Incomplete and superficial judgment comes far too soon upon one's own actions, after overlooking what was done wrong or what still remains to be done. The World, 21. Vast and slow to change, the world is trapped in its orbit, and an evolution so gradual it seems invisible. It longs for fulfillment, never realizing that it will never truly come. That was cool. That's actually really cool, because that's not the actual... These were all completely unique. These are really cynical readings on what all of these cards mean. It tells us a lot about our character. Or about Lilith. Because a lot of these cards are good, have good meanings actually. But the reading that they say for these in character have been like incredibly bleak. And very, like, pessimistic. So, like, a lot of these cards could be interpreted very, very differently from how that was done. Yeah, essentially all of these cards basically just boil down to shit's fucked. Shit's fucked, good luck. Okay, so starting off with the Emperor. We want this one. So the Emperor is... Because that crown is the same as the crown we got from the jewellery box. What is the Golden Crest lock? Ivy. Temperance has the chalice, I think. Where's the chalice? I'm having a look here. No, we're looking for Temperance. There she is, Temperance. XIV. The eye. So XIV. Because we got the clue for that from the eye. XIV. And the last one I guess the devil, because it was the Satanist Bible we got it from. That would be my guess, maybe. Yeah, there's the symbol down here, and I think that symbol is the same that's on the Satanist Bible. So, XV for the Christian symbol. XV, XV, XV. Let's see. The mask has opened. So this is the face of the one behind it all. All this pain and rage contained within the body of such a young girl. The girl has no heartbeat and isn't breathing. And yet she weeps. We see... Oh. There's the girl next to Lilith. So, we freed her soul, but it looks like Lilith has been doing this for a very long time. This letting people get revenge for stuff done to them. They all suffered like her, and you saved every single one of them. No. I gave them the power to seek vengeance, Detective. And now they help me do the same for all the others in need of across this world. Your investigation is over, Detective. As is your purpose in this story. So much suffering. Why did I have to witness all of it? You have experienced a fragment of what we have all lived through for centuries. You've seen every injustice we've endured. You helped us all find justice, and so you are free to go. Wait, damn it, the girl, what's her name? Girls like her have no name, no rights, not in the eyes of the world, nor in those of their tormentors. She is now a part of me. She is safe, like the others, and like them, will aid me in my mission to protect. Okay, yeah, that was good. That was really good. So, do we want my hot take for what happened? I'm going to explain for the people who might not understand the symbolism and everything that happened, or missed the first couple people people we looked at. So, the red-haired lady was the son's wife. The son was a notorious adulterer. That he was sleeping with the maid. He got the maid pregnant. But I don't think he got the maid pregnant while, like, I don't think the redhead girl wanted the maid dead. I think it's pretty, like, we can pretty strictly understand that the maid was actually just a sad coincidence that she happened to die because the dad, who is someone she wanted dead, killed her. From what I think, I don't think she wanted the maid dead, the red-haired girl. Unless it is that the son cheated on the redhead girl with the maid. But after the son cheated on the redhead girl, she was cast out into the streets, where she became a penniless drug addict, getting her drugs from the two priests. That's why she wanted them dead. While on the streets, she meets the homeless woman, Claire, who is the psychic. Claire is like obsessed with getting Lilith's power. So she essentially does the ritual to the redhead girl to put Lilith inside of the girl's body, so that she can extract her at a later date for herself. Assumedly because the Claire lady was like 80 years old, and the redhead girl looks in her 20s to me. Same age as the maid and the son, like 27, 25. We don't know when the red-haired girl died. We know she's dead, because she's dead at the end. I think she probably died during Claire's trying to steal Lilith from her. I think sucking Lilith out of the girl's body before she'd completed her task caused her to die. Or she was already dead by that point and Lilith was just getting revenge post-mortem. But that's why, like, all of them are dead. So that's why the redhead girl, that's explaining why the redhead girl wanted them all dead anyway. Now, what actually happened to each person, to my understanding? Pedro and Lucas were invited to the manor. Lucas brings Claire. Those are the two priests. Bring Claire with them, or she sneaks in separately. Pedro overdoses on the opium. That Lucas made, because they made a stronger version of opium specifically to poison him, so that Lucas wanted to poison him because he was stealing all the money from their drug business and was also a Satanist, not an actual Christian priest. So Pedro owed overdoses, basically. Lucas, the red-haired girl, catches Lucas while she is possessed to get her revenge on Lucas, who is the other priest, the Christian priest. She captures him and does the whole thing with putting the rat stone in his hand so that he catches the bubonic plague and instantly dies. The maid, because Lilith is in the mansion in the redhead girl's body, the maid, who has also been taken advantage of, basically gets possessed by Lilith, like subtly, not really possessed as much as the influence of the revenge spirit that is Lilith basically makes the pregnant maid kill the son because she's been wronged as well. Essentially she's like, it's not really possession as much as it's just influence. The stuff with Lilith have it being in the mansion has caused this other woman who is also being taken advantage of and is now being like cheated on and like is a maid, so she could never marry the guy that in the first place. Like, it's caused her to kill the son. So the dad finds out that the maid has just killed his son, kills her and rips the baby out of her. And we can assume based on what the game said, buried the baby in the garden because he realised what he did afterwards and was like, oh fuck, I've just done something actually really, really bad. He then kills himself by shooting himself in the head, and then he falls off the balcony onto the floor below, like completely crushing his body basically. So then Claire is the last to die, which we know for a fact because it is said that she is the last to die, which is the old homeless lady psychic. She tries to take Lilith out of the body now that the ritual's almost fully complete and everyone's had their revenge done on them. Except for she doesn't realise that by putting Lilith inside of the redhead girl's body, she is also on the hit list. Lilith gets pissed off because she's just basically, to my interpretation, killed the redhead girl by taking her out of her body prematurely. And so she possesses the psychic to drown herself in the sink. And then everyone is sent to us. Lilith wants the redhead girl to be able to move on to the afterlife and help her with all the other people that she's helped over the centuries. So she gets us to do all this stuff so that we can free the redhead girl's soul from the quote-unquote failed ritual where she wasn't able to leave her body before she was taken out of and killed. Meaning she was probably like trapped, basically. Her soul was basically trapped. By figuring out everything and doing the tarot stuff at the end, we free the redhead girl to go with Lilith on to the afterlife. That's how I interpreted everything that happened there. It's really sad. It's a really sad story. I really liked that. That was good. It was really fun. It wasn't as scary as I was expecting. The Steam page makes it look like it's going to be more like Mortuary Assistant, where you're going to have like constant jump scares and stuff, but I actually preferred it the way this is. This was really good. I've never seen anyone play this. Like, I've literally never seen anyone play this. I'd not even heard of it. I found it myself on Steam. This was really good. I really like that one. I really like that one. Damn. That was real good. Like, the music was good. The mechanics, some of it was a bit janky, but I think that's because I'm also playing the game while streaming. So some things like the scalpel. Pulling the scalpel had the same issue that that you have in in Mortuary Assistant, where it sometimes gets stuck and can't register that you're doing the motion that it wants. Let me see if Marshall is streaming, because it's his birthday stream. No, he's not streaming at the moment. We'll go for Devi, because she's doing her mukbang. Her 200 follower mukbang. Alright. Yeah, I will. This one I'll be uploading to the YouTube channel. So, thank you everyone for coming in. I'll see you all tomorrow for probably Ace Attorney, because I missed it yesterday. But I don't know yet. I may play another random game off my list. I might play another random game off my indie game list that I have. I don't know. Mystery game tomorrow. Phoenix Wright or random indie game. But yeah, let's go raid Debbie. She's doing her mukbang for 200 followers. Thank you everyone for coming in. I've been Pigeon Wishes, your resident pigeon fae from the UK. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good night, everyone.